There has been high drama at the Coliseum this weekend versus the Astros. Friday, Yonder Alonso ended the game with a two-run walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth to send everyone home happy. Yesterday, the Astros rallied to load the bases in the top of the ninth, but a double play sealed the victory, and the A's took game 2. Today, Rich Hill gets the ball as the A's try to complete the 3-game sweep. Hill has been a strikeout machine this year with 37 Ks in 26 innings. Final game of the series, A's-Astros next. Well, it is a beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball here at the Coliseum. The pitching matchup this afternoon is Doug Fister for Houston, Rich Hill for the Athletics, and the A's are going for the 3-game sweep. It's the Astros and the Athletics coming up on CSN California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fossing, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Rich Hill is off to a terrific start after a little bit of a rough opening night. He's been great, Ray, and we weren't expecting this, but he's a strikeout guy so far for the A's. He's got a lot of punch-outs.
Unbelievable curveball, slider, sneaky fastball. Because of his curveball, his fastball looks like it's about 105 instead of 90. But against the Tigers, he was outstanding again. 8 strikeouts. So in his 3 wins, he has 28 strikeouts total. Curveball, when you freeze 2 hitters with 3-2 curveballs, that means it's an outstanding pitch. He's a ground ball pitcher also, so a great combination. But he has been outstanding, and that's the reason that Bob Melvin said we're going to keep him in a regular turn. He pitched Tuesday Detroit, this afternoon on his 5th day here against the Astros.
Well, in the offseason, the Astros were looking for a veteran starting pitcher. They signed Doug Fister to a 1-year contract. And Ray, with the Astros struggling right now, specifically their pitching, they need Fister today, and they need Fister all year.
Well, and the A's also against Fister really cannot look for too much. He does not throw very hard, not really overpowering. However, he has an assortment of pitches. He started a little bit slowly, but he is pitching a lot better lately. And the key, just like you said, he's a veteran. Astros need him, and he's got a perfect fit in this Astros rotation. They hope he can do well.
Well, the A's finished the month of April 13-12. They'll try to build off that as we enter the month of May this afternoon. So it is also Little League Day here at the ballpark. Over 8,000 Little Leaguers in attendance, and we hope they see an A's win. A's going for the sweep when we come back.
Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
More excited about the A's game or the Warrior game? A's game, good answer. Good answer. All right, we're going to stand right here. We're going to wait for these.
It's Little League Day. Over 8,000 Little Leaguers in the house, and they will enjoy today's game as A's going for the sweep of the Houston Astros, and it is a gorgeous day for baseball. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 77 degrees, so it's warm, and the heavy breezes that we had Friday night and yesterday, well, they're gone. So it's warm.
They blew in the hot weather, I think.
They did, no question.
It is warm.
Let's look at the lineup for the Houston Astros today. Altuve, Springer, Correa, Rasmus, Gaddis, White, Tucker, Gonzalez, and Castro.
And it is Rich Hill once again for the Athletics today as he makes his 6th start. Previous 5 caught by Stephen Vogt, who's back there again today. And he is trying to continue what he has been doing. Outstanding pitching, especially in his 3 wins, as we mentioned, 28 strikeouts, 8 against the Tigers in his last start. And if he did not wear sleeves in Detroit where it was frigid, as he went to Michigan, he could love to pitch that way. He'll love this afternoon.
Quick look at the defense. Davis, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield for the A's. Coghlan, Simeon, Lowry, and Alonso on the infield, and Stephen Vogt is your catcher. So we're set for baseball. Busy day here at the Coliseum, and of course right next door, Oracle, where the Warriors are playing. And the first pitch of the ball game is a strike to Jose Altuve.
First pitch, 107.
So Altuve, Springer, and Correa here in the first. Speaking of first, it's May 1st. So April is behind us. Todd Tishner's calling balls and strikes today. Bill Miller, Pat Holberg, and Brian Knight, with Miller being the crew chief. So the A's finished 13-12 in April. Astros, a struggling one, but this ball game's going to start out on a good note for the Houston Astros as Jose Altuve launches a solo shot, and the Astros lead 1-0. Well, that was quick.
Third pitch of the game, but maybe a good sign for Rich Hill, because what we saw yesterday with Ryan Madson pitch in the 9th inning, the Astros were sitting changeup. Jose Altuve was sitting on his curveball from Rich Hill because he's set back. It's not a particularly great curveball, but we've seen a lot of right-handers take the pitch. He's all over it, and he has the power with his 7th home run. But maybe that will change Stephen Vogt's idea as far as calling the curveball as much as he has in the past.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. That's the first hit in this series for Altuve. So 4th time in his season so far that he has led off with a home run. Burns coming in, and it's going to be Simeon going out, and Simeon makes what was not an easy play. I don't know if Billy Burns maybe didn't see it initially.
He's still with his speed, with the ball up in the air as long as it was. He had time, and he did kind of hesitate, but still coming in. That's a much easier play for an outfielder coming in. But Marcus Simeon, you know, you have to be concerned not only the sun and the baseball coming down with your back to the infield, but you also are concerned about the center fielder coming in. He had to be saying, please call me off. He didn't. Made a great catch.
Here's Correa.
But maybe you could take back what I said, because Springer got 2 curveballs and popped up shallow center field, but Stephen Vogt went right back to the signature pitch again. So maybe it was just a bad pitch to Altuve, and he took advantage of kind of a hanging curveball. But I think yesterday with Madson, man, the guys were taking changeups and never expect them to take.
Almost like they knew it was coming.
Yep, like they expected him to be throwing them, and he did, and they took them.
1-2 to Correa, 271 with 3 home runs. That pitch is inside.
If you think about Ryan Madson, what he said after Friday night, Billy Burns makes a great throw to 3rd. And then yesterday, another great defensive play, bases loaded.
1 out and gets the double play. Tough play for Marcus. Handled it well. Turned the 6-4-3.
Curve stays high. So now full count.
Twice on this 3-2 count in Detroit, he threw curveballs called by Stephen Vogt. Strike 3 called.
Here's the breakdown. Amount of fastballs and curveballs thrown. But that breaking ball's been a good pitch, and I think at times it almost seems like Hill has better control of the breaking ball than he does of the fastball.
You got Tucker, a lefty. Correa or Rasmus. And switch hitters.
There's the breaking ball, and Correa with a pretty good take, and he has the walk. So a 1-out base runner after the Altuve home run, and here's Colby Rasmus.
Center fielder, number 28, Colby
36% of his pitches are curveballs. That is the highest percentage in the major leagues. He's 4th in the American League in strikeouts. Very good ERA of 2.42. And Rasmus drives one to left. Davis back, sets up, makes the catch. 2 outs here in the top of the first.
But as you mentioned, no breeze today, quite warm, which means it's going to carry. The ball's going to carry quite well, and Rich Hill has a tendency to be a fly ball pitcher. Jesse Hahn yesterday, 14 ground ball outs, which was great. But the equalizer for Rich Hill is his curveball.
So Gaddis steps in, hitting in the 5th spot. Astros are 7-17, so that is why they are glad to put April behind them and try to get hot in the month of May. They've lost 5 out of 6, and they have lost 9 out of 11. So those numbers have them scratching their head just a little bit, trying to figure out what's wrong. They're just 3-11 on the road. So after an 86-win season last year, off to a very slow start. Two 2-0 to Gaddis. And that one's on the inside corner for a strike.
I think back to 1988 when the A's lost to the Dodgers in the World Series. It was that feeling of we're going to come back next year and win it all, and they did. But sometimes the team doesn't run the table. In the case of Astros, losing to the Royals and then a slow start this season makes it a little bit tough. Saw the elephant socks. Those are big socks.
Yeah, pretty good looking socks.
Yeah.
That's the giveaway today.
Are yours on? You have yours?
No, I'm gonna.
Not yet. You gonna save them?
Yeah.
Hey, if you're an elephant, you need to have big socks. You know, look at the stopper.
Yeah, those are good looking socks. Yeah. No question about it. 2-2 pitch is foul back. So that's the giveaway. Yesterday it was the Sean Doolittle Gnome. Little League Day today, sponsored by Black Bear Diner.
You know that, don't you? That box that's sitting next to you over there of pastries. Can't wait to have those.
It's going to cost you, Ray. It's going to cost you. Gaddis swings and misses, side retired. Altuve opens up the ball game with his 7th home run of the year. So the Astros lead 1-0. lead. And here's the lineup for the A's this afternoon. Burns, Lowry, Reddick, Davis, Vogt, Crisp, Coghlan, Alonso, and Simeon. That's your Oakland A's starting lineup.
6'8". Hard to believe. I didn't know he was that tall, but Doug Fister is the tall one, and he is making his first start as a member of the Astros against the Athletics, and on the season 1-3. But A's faced him in Detroit 2013, went to the Nationals for a couple of years, one-year contract with these Astros, and he's got an assortment like we mentioned, but fastball upper 80s, and then everything else to go with it.
When he's on, he's tough.
Yes, he is.
I've seen him pitch extremely well against them.
Looks like he got a lot of pumpkins in the outfield and infield for the Astros, huh?
There's a lot. Oh.
Those orange tops, and I mean, they stand out. See, that's why Charlie Finley wanted to have an orange baseball with a green background, and this looks perfectly on the green grass with the orange tops.
2-1 the count to Burns. Lowry and Reddick to follow. 278 for Burns. 3 RBIs. 3 for 8 in the series, and he's had an impact, big impact in this series, offensively and defensively.
Saw Davinsky pitch yesterday, similar in the way Fister has that left foot go back and then very quick with his delivery. Boom, boom, let it go. He's done that quite a while.
Hit hard, but Tyler White makes a nice play, ranging to his left toward the line. So 1 out. So the defense for the Astros: Tucker, Rasmus, Springer in the outfield. So Carlos Gomez out again today. And Gonzalez, Correa, Altuve, and White, with Jason Castro doing the catching.
Evidently, when Castro made a diving attempt in the outfield as well as diving into third base.
Gomez.
Gomez, I'm sorry. Might have injured himself, or I guess there's some debate whether to put him on the DL or not.
And remember, he came in a little banged up, too.
Right. And if there's a lefty on the mound and he's not in the lineup, Gomez, I'm sure it's got to be something wrong.
So 1 out. Here's Lowry. First pitch strike. Lowry has faced Fister a fair amount. He's 4 for 15 in his career. Overall, good start. 314 the average with 13 RBIs. And he hits that one hard up the middle, but Correa's there as the shift was on. 2 out. So we mentioned that the Little League Day is sponsored by Black Bear Diner, and that's what we got in the booth today. How about that, folks? Bear claws from Black Bear Diner. Biscuit Bear brought them up. We appreciate Biscuit Bear stopping by. So
as big as your hand is what he sent. Huh?
It's a glove. It looks like your old catcher's mitt.
My real old one?
Yes.
The one that was a no break?
Yes.
That had 3 broken fingers on?
So we think there's 6 bear claws in there, so I get 4 and Ray gets 2.
I like your math.
Because I think it should be divided evenly.
Well, no, you've got family. I mean, they're all here just looking and waiting for you to open up the box. So why not?
Better get their wallets out, because it's going to cost them. So we appreciate Black Bear Diner bringing those up. They smell good.
Yeah, it's a good diner. I know the one on Hop Yard Road is a very good place. You said there's one over in the San Ramon area?
Yeah. 680 and Sycamore Valley.
Oh, wow. That's closer.
That's right. That's not far from you and I at all. Reddick slap swing the other way, but Marwin Gonzalez is there. Side retired. So Fister with a good first inning. It's 1-0. A's may be losing, but it's a good day in the broadcast booth. Coliseum on a beautiful day. Astros leading 1-0.
The way those people are enjoying their food.
That kind of day.
It's that day with the beautiful sunshine, and oh, there's a game going on with all this good food.
First pitch curveball to Tyler White, stays outside.
Well, it's one thing that Stephen Vogt, and perhaps he's already done it, tells Todd Tishner. This young man pitching has a great curveball that'll throw a lot to right-handed hitters. Don't give up on it, because the hitters will give up on it, as they will take the pitch usually that's outside, thinking it's going to be outside, but it's important for the umpire to realize that it's going to break sharply, and a lot of times we'll catch the strike zone.
High strike. I was going to say a little high, but the strike was called, and Tyler White just checking in with Todd Tishner. And it was a high strike. Two pitches fouled to the screen. Tyler White is 1 for 7 in this series. Everyday first baseman for the Astros, got the job out of spring training.
That swing was a swing where he's looking for curveball, because he barely fouled it off, and I think we're already seeing that with the Astros. And scouting reports and tendencies have a real effect on a hitter and what they're going to look for in certain situations.
And there's the curveball slapped the other way. Nice play by Lowry. 1 away.
What's better than taking your family to the ballpark on a Friday night? With the Friday Family Pack, you get 4 Plaza Level hot dogs, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium sodas, and 4 bags of peanuts, and it's just $60 in every Friday home game. Buy now at athletics.com/family pack, subject to availability. That time the A's were utilizing a straight-up defense, and it helped because the ball was hit to the right side. Jed Lowry only had to take a couple of steps to get to it.
Lefty on lefty here, Tucker. And this is probably where, as you said, on a normal day, Carlos Gomez would certainly be in the lineup. Tucker would be on the bench, but Tucker facing a left-hander. More action for Lowry. This one right at him. 2 outs here in the second inning.
But against the Tigers, Rich Hill had 7 flyouts, 6 ground ball outs, and 8 strikeouts. So he kind of mixed them. That's percentage. It's pretty good. 2 fly ball outs in the first inning. That was a little concern, especially the big fly, the home run by Altuve, but getting back with the pitches, hitting them on the ground.
So lots of ground ball outs, but also lots of strikeouts for Rich Hill so far this year, making his 6th start of the year. Fastball at 93 miles an hour, but it's inside to Marwin Gonzalez, the switch hitting third baseman. Gonzalez did not play yesterday.
That's the pitch, because you miss with a first pitch fastball, and the hitter's got to be thinking, here comes another fastball, and then he throws a curveball for a strike. Here's the spin on Uncle Charlie, and it just kind of floats in towards the middle of the plate.
1-2. See where Vogt caught that ball, and he caught it inside, but really it's such a sweeping breaking ball, it almost has to cross home plate to get into Vogt's glove.
I agree 100%. Whether I get a black bear pastry or not.
Maybe. Little jam shot. Simeon gets to it quickly. Side retired. 3 ground ball outs for Rich Hill, and we are headed to the bottom of the second. Davis, Vogt, and Crisp will hit for the A's. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by AAA. What does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for details. That youngster, part of Little League Day. So he got to run out onto the field right before the game. But all the Little Leaguers got to walk around the warning track, come in center field, walk all the way around the warning track, past the dugouts, and then back out center field, and then come back in and get in your seats.
And they started it early enough that everybody could walk the track and get back in their seats before the game started.
Yep.
Never forget the game, and Sandy Alderson was here, and they started late and had to delay the game, and I said that will never happen again. And
no, and it should.
It should not. No, I mean, they had an abundance of them, but Joe was telling us that Chris Davis was down by the dugout shaking hands, which was great. And I remember Cal Ripken Jr. in Baltimore. I mean, what a thing that was. You talk about slowing down a parade.
Cal would slow it down.
Yeah, the Rip would slow it down and shake hands with everybody. But nice of Chris Davis to do that today.
So 2-2 the count. Davis, Vogt, and Crisp here in the bottom of the second. Pfister had a 3-up, 3-down first inning with 3 ground ball outs. And that's what he tries to do. Working that outside corner on Davis. Pitches are close. That one called the ball.
But he's got a cutter, and we may see it 3-2 because the fastball is not overpowering. No fastball away.
So it stays 3-2. That one headed down toward the Little Leaguers down the right field line.
Doug Pfister is the type of pitcher that some could say, well, he doesn't throw 97, 98. No, he may not throw high 80s, but he can pinpoint his fastball, all of his pitches, and that's a controlled pitcher. Take somebody like that, maybe instead of somebody throws 95, 98, fastball, 4-seam down the middle, guys hit it a mile.
There's the career breakdown for Pfister. 500, 66 and 66. Pretty decent ERA at 3.47. Hey, the shift is on. Davis rolls it up the middle for a base hit. So leadoff single for Davis. This was the parade of the 8,000 Little Leaguers. The A's players were out there, as Ray said, including Chris Davis.
You know, I think that's a great experience for the kids. Liam Hendricks, reliever, pitcher, walking towards the dugout. But, you know, anytime kids can get on a field like that and look up and see the size of a stadium, you know, we talk about professional players who come to the Babe Ruth Series for the first time going to the minor leagues. They've never experienced a triple deck stadium. You can imagine these little league kids. This has to look like it's so big, but they can also say one day I'm going to be down here, and we hope a lot of them are.
And it's fun. They walk along the outfield wall. You'll see them. They leap up against the wall.
Yeah.
And you know how that works. If one of them does it,
oh, yeah,
well, then a whole bunch of them are going to do it. Shallow center field. Altuve takes over. Well, that's one out here in the second. Sonny Gray was out there, and the kids also. It slows down by the dugouts because everybody wants to look into the dugouts.
Bob Melvin jumped in the picture, so yeah, that definitely will slow it down.
I mean, a big league Gatorade jug is a big deal. Yeah, there was a couple jumping up that high.
They'd give him a contract right now.
But it's a fun day. First pitch to Coco on the outside corner. Good pitch. And when the kids get home tonight, they'll be tired because they're out here pretty early.
Well, it's a good day to get out early with everything happening around this area with the Warriors and the A's within a half hour of each other.
Shift is on. Doesn't matter. Coco rolls it into left center field for a hit. He just kind of reached for it and tapped it right through. It would have been about as routine of a ground ball to short as you could get.
Well, same for Chris Davis. His ball that went to right center had been right to second baseman. But, I mean, this is smart hitting by the Athletics. But the shift, they expect him to get out and pull a pitch like that. And smart hitters will do exactly what Coco did and what Chris Davis did. Take the pitch and go to the opposite field.
So 2 on, 1 out. And here's Chris Coghlan.
And all it takes for Chris Coghlan now to hit a ball into the shift, and it's worth it. That's right. It makes it all worth it. All the statistics will come out to be exactly where they want.
Curveball down and in. Coghlan is 1 for 7 in the series. Overall, hitting 155. Does have 4 home runs. First strike. Coghlan is starting his 11th consecutive game at third base. And he's done a good job over there. And
it sounds like Dan Valencia might join the club in Baltimore or be able to go to Baltimore.
And maybe next weekend, right? Play next week.
Next weekend. Next weekend. He's supposed to have a couple of rehab games and then maybe DH one.
Perfect.
And then be able to come back. Chris Coghlan has played an outstanding third base, and he said this morning, he said somebody referenced him as a defensive specialist. He said, never been called that in my life, but he's done a good job at third. Of course, he can play all over.
You know what, Ray, I was incorrect on the Valencia thing. You're right. Baltimore next weekend.
Next weekend, right. Well, you said next weekend, which is correct. This just happens. This is
not Boston. Baltimore is when the A's hope to get Valencia back. Should be ready to go. Yeah. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Got him swinging. Pfister gets his first strikeout. 2 outs here in the second inning.
Got a quick pitch with a high fastball, and Chris Coghlan opened up just a little bit. We've seen a couple of guys go opposite field. This pitch had looked like it was one to hit, even though it was up. Tishner has called the strike high. Now, I didn't pay attention, Billy Burns. Did they shift on him?
Big time.
Okay. So they've shifted on everybody.
Yeah, they had Tucker playing right next to the line, and Rasmus was in left center field.
But the infield has played exactly where they are right now for every hitter at the A's center.
Yeah, I think what we've noticed of all the teams the A's have played this year with the Astros, their outfield shifts.
That's right.
More than other outfields.
I would say Chris Davis had 3 to the left side of the infield. The lefties, of course, with 3 to the right side.
2-0 to Alonso. It's funny, Ray, as we do all these games together and as announcers, you wonder how much should you talk about the shift, but it's become a big part of baseball, right. And you have to.
Right, and it's probably more rare to see somebody straight up.
Yeah, oh, no question.
And so when you're seeing the dramatic shift on virtually every hitter, I mean, that's something that, I mean, if you're a fan home watching these games, you see the high home that the great director Tommy Edza shows, and you're saying, wow, there's 3 guys over there. Look at that big hole twice. I see. They're moving over to the right-hander. They're going to have 3 to the left side of the infield. Now Altuve, and then, as we've always talked about, the first baseman cannot venture too far over. Rich Dow, the first base coach, has directed them. Gary Pettis, the outfield coach, directed his group. So they're all being directed. I see the infield. This is straight up. Altuve back in normal position at second. Really only the center fielder Rasmus slightly in left center.
Missed outside. So 1-0 the count to Marcus Semien, hitting .205, 6 homers, 10 RBI. He's 2 for 5 in the series. Got a home run. That was on Friday night. That one a strike. Looks like maybe the cut fastball.
Yeah.
84 miles an hour.
And he keeps the ball down the lower part of the strike zone. Jesse Hahn, another tall pitcher, did the same thing yesterday. It's a great call. It's cutter right there. See, he's quick pitching now. I mean, he has the bases loaded. He's not concerned about him out of running, but he's barely stopping as he comes to his minimal set position. Watch this, and just bang, bang, go. And I think from a hitter standpoint, he may pause occasionally, and then you better be ready, because if he does quick pitch, he throws a fastball. I think Coghlan got one, and Simeon on that last one was a fastball.
Davis at third, Crisp at second, Alonso at first. So an opportunity for the A's, but they'll need a 2-out hit.
Big hit last Friday night. This past Friday night, Ken Giles, the A's were down by 2 in the 8th inning, and Marcus Simeon, a bullet 3-2 fastball down the left field line. 6th home run of the season, and a big blow because the A's would add one more and tie it.
Little jam shot. Correa has to wait, flips to second, and they got him. A close play at second. Pat Holberg, the second base umpire, calls Alonso out, but the A's are going to at least take a look at it.
Well, that ball almost went into center field. It's close, but not close enough. They're not going to.
So the A's will not check it, and a very nice play by Carlos Correa. So the A's leave them loaded, 1-0 Houston after 2. Astros 1, A's nothing. One of those old-time Astros uniforms. So bad, they're good.
I was going to say, I didn't even look, and I knew which one you were talking about.
Oh yeah, the
multicolored, rainbow color.
That's right. The dreamsicle. Dreamsicle. Looks like a dreamsicle. Two 2-0 the count to Jason Castro. Castro, Altuve, and Springer here in the third. That's a strike, 2-1.
Well, good to see Jason A.J. Hinch go with Jason Castro today, even though left-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher, but a very good catcher, frames well, calls a good game. And of course, Kravitz we saw on Friday night, the right-handed hitter. And A.J., a former catcher himself, opted to go with his catcher, who has done a very good job, even though the bat has not been what he wanted. At least a couple of years ago was much better.
One pitch, broken bat. Simeon's not going to quite be able to get it, and Castro's going to have a leadoff single.
Well, A.J. Hinch, probably himself at one time a little leaguer, and talking to some of the little league kids, the players on the field. And you know they're Astros. That's probably the only reason the Astros team stopped in the dugout. That's nice of AJ. Trey Hellman, his bench coach, stopwatch behind, former manager of the Royals, manager in Japan as well.
First pitch to Altuve is a bit high. Altuve a homer in the first, his 7th of the year. Now it's 2-0. He's always been really good. Always good against everybody, but Altuve's always been tough on left-handers. .353 average against lefties since 2011. And now it's 3-0. Altuve just took 3 straight pitches. That hardly ever happened. Pitch is a strike. Well, he'll take that one, but he will not take another strike.
Now I always wonder if his helmet doesn't fit, or he's always just making adjustments.
Looks loose. It looks loose.
He does that before every pitch, not in bad, but just something that he goes through.
And he did take it, and it caught the outside corner. He thought it was outside, but we've seen him just poke that pitch to right field many times.
Well, he's got a bat that's about as tall as he is. That had a lot of the plate. I don't know. He may be thinking about pulling so much that he lost sight of the pitch, which had a lot of home plate.
So the count is full.
Curveball.
And a big curve.
Oh my!
And it's called the ball.
Oh wow! What is wrong with that? Wow. There is nothing. This fooled the umpire.
Now batting, number 4, George.
It fooled the hitter, but it definitely fooled the umpire. There's nothing wrong with this pitch. The only thing he could have called was up. Wow, that's too bad. Stephen Vogt.
Not sure what's going on.
There was something on the field, evidently. Yeah.
Maybe a little. Anybody break a bat in the first couple innings? No.
Well, yeah, Castro just broke his hitting the ball to left field.
So maybe
some
could have been
chips of wood. Well, that's too bad it didn't get the call. I mean, the runner was not running Castro, but definitely after 2 fastballs that were taken, the curveball was a very good pitch.
So now Springer hits, an opportunity for the Astros. There's a strike outside corner. Somebody's wedding ring fell off. Probably want to make sure you get that back. And he went around 0-2.
Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first base today. We'll not see him behind the plate. There's the big sweeping curveball again. Like you said, Cap, it catches the plate. That was down a little bit more. That was called on a check swing, though, not the strike.
Another broken bat toward Coughlin. Hayes will get the out at second, on to first. Not in time.
Oh, they got to check that one, too. Broken bat, and that was a bang-bang play. And actually, Alonso, that might be worthy of checking. Yeah, they're going to check it because this looked like, just from watching it, that it was out. He jumped to the bag, and the only thing about the ball going into the glove. But when you jump, check the ball. You might have beaten it, but still worth checking because that's first and third versus the run at third. I see he's out there. The ball's in his glove. But Adam Roden said to DeMarcott, says, hey, let's check it.
This is the play at second base, and again, there's stuff to look for there too. Is the slide legal? Where's the foot of Lowry? There's a lot going on now in double plays.
Yeah.
And his foot was down. Yeah. Check the Altuve slide. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on there.
But according to what I think we've been told is that when they look at a challenge, they look at everything.
Yeah. Good call.
So they could look at second base. They could look at this play, which is the one they're checking. See, his foot doesn't go down. He didn't really hit the front of the bag, even though he jumped to the bag.
Very, very close.
Yeah.
I think he's probably more out than safe.
Yeah.
But is there enough?
If it's definitive, yeah. But you know, while they're taking a look at this, I will say, and I know there are pitchers who will check the umpiring rotation to see who's behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. So Mark Wegner was in Detroit calling balls and strikes, and the curveball that was just thrown to Altuve would have been a strike. Mark Wegner. Without any hesitation. Today, it was called a ball. So a lot goes into that, and why pitchers do take a look at who's umpiring.
Well, that is close.
Yeah, it is.
I'm afraid that
if it's not
this
definitive,
was the most important part of this is what the original call was.
Yes. Well,
it's always what you worry about.
What you can look at also is his heel hitting the bag low and then going over. So definitely a lot to look at. But if it's not definitive, it's first and third, and the call stands on the field.
Here we go. Well, that's what we're a little bit afraid of. And again, I think he was more out than safe, but you can also see the point of the gentleman looking at the replay where was it a definitive change? Probably not. He's been successful in 3 out of 5 replay challenges. Took 2 minutes and 25 seconds for them to check it. So now it's first and third, 1 out. Carlos Correa steps in. He walked in the first inning. Correa is 1 for 6 in this series.
Got your phone handy?
Make that 1 for 5.
Replay review. Not definitive enough.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Internet's fault. So 1-1 the count to Carlos Correa. And now 1-2.
This is where Carlos now goes into the protect mode. Correa, as we have seen in the series and last year, with 2 strikes, he's a different hitter. Stephen Vogt looking into the dugout. There's much to see about the runner at first base. Springer with good speed is thrown out Friday night, not getting a big lead today.
Way inside. So 2-2. Vogt, a long look into the dugout. A couple things going on for him with first and third.
Shook off the fastball to go to the curve.
He blocks it nicely.
Well, we talked about Josh Phegley yesterday, doing a great job blocking the ball, keep the double play in order. Stephen Vogt does the same here, as the A's are playing back 4-2. Runner from third not able to score. The runner at first is still there, so if he can get the ground ball, it may work out very beneficial.
Correa checks his swing, and he did not go. Tried to run it in on the hands. But now the bases are loaded, still only 1 out, and Colby Rasmus is the hitter.
Threw him a 3-2 curveball in his first at bat, similarly, and took it for ball 4. And he is not offering. He is a very disciplined hitter when it comes to the 2-strike approach. Very impressive for a 21-year-old.
So Rich Hill has thrown a lot of pitches this year as he faces Colby Rasmus. Kind of good news, bad news with Rasmus, because you can strike him out, but he will also launch one out of the ballpark.
Or just hit the ball in air in general. That's not what the A's are. They're hoping for a ground ball or a strikeout.
And the curve stays inside.
He's got a huge double play yesterday to end the game. Now they are definitely playing extremely to pull on the right side.
.2-0 pitch is driven to right. Reddick goes back, still going back, now near the wall, and he makes the catch. Castro will tag. He'll come in to score. So it's a sacrifice fly for Colby Rasmus. And boy, that ball carried, huh? Very nice warm day.
Exactly.
Looked like a routine fly ball, and when it was all said and done, Reddick was near the warning track.
And mislocation, got the high fastball, and Rasmus is having such a good season. He had 19 RBI in the first month of the season, and so he's got runners on base in scoring position. He's not going to be taking a lot of pitches, but Josh Reddick knew how close he was to the wall. So there's where the challenge that was upheld, and of course the following walk to Carrera.
So 1-0 to Gaddis. Gaddis lays off a pitch a little hot. So 55 pitches already for Rich Hill.
So would you say the word laboring would be appropriate?
A little bit, yeah. That's
just because his curveball is not. I mean, he might be throwing some good ones, but not being called.
Hill had a very nice second inning, 3 up, 3 down. Had to work in the first and had to work extra hard in this inning. Alonso may have a play, and he did, but he just could not quite make the play. He kind of reached out around belt high right at the last second. I think he had another step, but he just wasn't sure.
And then also as it came down, he's kind of leaning back instead of leaning forward and having the more room, and no help of course from the visiting dugout. Home side, got to be 3-4 guys sitting there ready to brace him, saying you got plenty of room.
That's a can of corn on the home side.
That's right. Well, you had been on a warning track because it probably would have come back.
Now 3-1 to Gaddis. Gaddis struck out in the first. That's the only strikeout for Rich Hill. Heads up here. Fastball. It's hit again, foul territory, and again Alonso with a long run, can't get there. Wind sprint afternoon for Yonder Alonso.
Ball 4 to Evan Gaddis that he swung at, but after what he did last year, as we continue to say, never overestimate what Gaddis can do with a fastball. Underestimate. I mean, he could. Underestimate would be the word, because he could take any kind of a pitch anywhere and hit it hard.
So 3-2, 2 outs. Carlos Correa is the runner at first. He will go. And it's a walk. So 3 walks in this inning for Hill, 4 in the game.
Now batting, number 13, Tyler White.
Home road splits for Rich Hill. Small sample size, but was the opening night start. Was not a good one for Hill.
4 walks today. All have come on 3-2 curveballs. All 4. And only one that's been reasonably close.
Tyler White takes inside. So he's fighting it right now, is Rich Hill. Tyler White popped it up. Left side of the diamond, tough sun. Coughlin makes the catch. Well, you hold your breath on days like today where there's lots of sunshine. So a long inning, but just 1 run for the Astros. They lead 2-0. Brought to you by Clipper. For work, play, and all points between, use Clipper instead of cash to pay for transit. Mount Diablo. Over in our neck of the woods, Ray.
Yeah, no snow on it either.
No. Nice day, and if you got a little time, just drive up there. Or those people who ride their bikes up there. I mean, that's unbelievable. How do they do that?
Well, even harder than that's coming down.
Well, that's true.
Because you're coasting.
Make sure your brakes are working.
That's right, catching those curves in the hills.
Well, I think when you're up there, you can see all the bridges in the Bay Area. That's what they say.
Yeah, you can see Tracy. You can see Stock. You can see a lot. 360-degree view.
Well, Ray, you asked if they shifted for Burns. I said yes, they did drastically in the outfield.
Yeah, well,
look at where the center fielder Rasmus is playing. That's unbelievable.
Well, and Tucker in left field. I mean, that's as dramatic and close as we could ever seen anybody.
I can see why teams would play Burns that way. It is a drastic shift, much significantly more than other teams do on Burns. He spun on that one, hits it well. Springer backing up, but Springer's there, plenty of room. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. 2-0 the Astros lead. So with a new month upon us, it's always fun to look back at April. Who did good? Who did not do good? Record-wise, well, in the American League, the Chicago White Sox finished with a 17-8 April record. That one is belted deep right center field. Rasmus back, still going back, and it's off the wall. A nice bounce back to Rasmus. He gets it in quickly, but Lowry with a long double.
Jed, doubles are okay, but let's get the home run. I mean, go up another couple of feet or something. hanger all the way. Jed stayed back. That's providing all your power yourself as a hitter, because Pfister did not offer a lot of velocity on the curveball, but see how high it hit. I mean, that's so close, but right at the top. Just hit the top and scrape the top and let it go over, but stayed in a double and another run in scoring position for the Athletics.
Reddick takes a strike in the outside corner. So 3 hits now for the Athletics. Trying to get on the board against Doug Pfister.
And I like Reddick's chances to go to left field. He gets a pitch, it can go that direction with a runner at second base. Whole left side of the infield open, and Gonzalez has to play relatively close to third in the event Lowry is thinking about running.
Fastball is high. So as we like to talk about, a pitcher trying to change the eye level. Fastball up. Well, we'll see if he now tries to go down, something down below the knee. Stayed up and away that time. 2-2 the count.
If he and Castro were on the same page, we'd see the quickness of Pfister, which we've already seen in some quick pitching. Runner at second base, though, Castro has to go through multiple signs, and if you shake off without adding and subtracting, it takes a little longer.
Takes that one now, full count. Chris Davis to follow. Reddick grounds one. That's Correa, who fires to first in time. 2 out. So the month of April saw, well, Windy City's happy. Best record in the National League, Cubs. Best record in the American League, the White Sox. And the White Sox won again today to get their 18th win. A couple of youngsters that are good in Colorado. Josh Donaldson with 8 home runs. Cano also. Cano's having a terrific season. Jake Arrieta, Jordan Zimmerman, a couple of guys who are 5-0. So those are some of the individual stars. So all good in Chicago right now.
Well, they could have also put Chris Sale next to Jake Arrieta at 5-0 with a 182.
Like the White Sox, best ERA in the American League, and they have 5 shutouts already this year. So I don't know if we could say that the White Sox are a surprise team, but they've been awfully good in the early going. So interesting, the Boston Red Sox, who are having a nice season so far, 14-10. They lead the league in runs scored. They're last in the league in home runs. Would you ever think I'd say that about the Boston Red Sox?
Not Fenway. Of course, with snow on the ground, stuff to hit home runs.
True. They've hit 19 this year, fewest in the American League. Davis swings and misses, so Pfister gets out of it. So the A's strand Lowry after the double, and we're through 3, 2-0 Astros. May have one of those when I get home this afternoon.
Well, if Joe was in a kind of a stage guy, he'd go get some right now.
Joe McCarthy, our stage manager, really.
We got Zach up here today, too. How about that?
Zach Bash from the Media Relations Department is working with us
just sitting
today.
up there watching the game.
So, limited help today in the booth. Just joking, guys.
James is doing his job on camera.
James, very solid as always.
Rich Hill's only given up 2 hits. Seems like he's been out there. Time of game, more to the Astros. Rich Hill spent a lot of time on the mound.
Yeah, time of possession right now is not in the Athletics' favor. Tucker, Gonzalez, Castro, the bottom 3 Astros lineup. That good breaking ball. Tucker wanted to pull the trigger but couldn't do it.
Well, this one, it took a while to be called a strike. Gosh, it looks almost like the same one Altuve took.
One rolled foul. A couple more notes on the month of April, Ray. The Yankees are last in the league in runs scored.
That's hard to believe.
And their pitching has not been good. So it was not a good month for the Yankees. They are 8-14 and they've lost 4 in a row. They having some trouble getting rolling. Tapped over the mound. Simeon's there. A bit of a low throw and dugout. Time now for the Ford right choice. Check this out, folks. April 8th of this year, the Astros got first-hand look at the Chase Utley rule. Colby Rasmus was called for interference on that play right there. It's the new rule, and it resulted in a game-ending double play. And it stopped at Astros' 9th inning rally. They lost 6-4. So you saw the slide. There was no attempt to throw to first, but the slide by Rasmus was ruled to be against the rules.
Because he went through the bag.
Went through the bag.
Yep.
Second base umpire Dan Bellino called Rasmus for not trying to stay on the bag.
Yeah.
And that is part of the requirement under baseball's new governing slides on potential double plays. They looked at it. Call was upheld after the Astros challenged the play. And that was it. Game over. And we talked briefly about that play. We had seen it obviously in highlights.
And we saw it also with the Tampa Bay club winning a game when Jose Bautista kind of grabbed the ankle of Forsythe coming across the bag. He threw to first, but you know, the one thing about the challenges and the reviews, in the naked eye, umpires don't see it. But you go to the challenge, just like Bautista, you would never have seen him grab the ankle of Forsythe. But
they may not be looking there.
No,
you know?
you're looking. Did he stay on the bag? And so there's a lot of things that because of the review process. But Rasmus clearly, I mean, you have to slide to be able to stay on the bag. Whenever he slid past the bag, that right there was enough that umpire immediately called it.
Yeah, you're supposed to attempt to stay on the bag.
Right.
2-2 pitch outside. So let's watch. Watch Rasmus. So, and he slides right past the bag. Spikes are up, which is not going to make the middle infielder happy. So they really, and that hit Gonzalez, so he'll take first base. So they really just don't want you sliding late and then going past second base.
Right.
This is the official rule. If a runner does not engage in a bona fide slide and initiates contact with the fielder for the purpose of breaking up a double play, he should be called for interference under the rule of begins his slide before reaching the base, is able and attempts to reach the base with his hand or foot. Now, this is what you need to be able to do on the slide. Is able and attempts to remain on the base after completion of the slide and slides within reach of the base without changing his pathway for the purpose of initiating contact or basically going after the runner. So that is, I mean, I don't want to say it's a complicated rule to look at, but it is a complicated rule to put out on the field for the umpires to try to attempt to see all that stuff. So you really do have to have replay on that play, because I think you're asking an umpire to do the impossible, to look for all that stuff.
And if Rasmus had been able to stay on the bag without sliding past, it'd have been okay.
Sure.
Because he did not deviate to the right or left. He went to the bag, but he slid late, and as a result, momentum carried him past the bag.
That's why maybe if you're a runner and you slide, you may want to grab the bag just to stop yourself from sliding past it. Because if you slide past it, it's pretty obvious to the umpire's naked eye that he's going to look and see that you went way past it.
Because they're going to invoke the Chase Utley rule
immediately. But it's not an easy job for the umpires.
No, it's really horrible.
Davis on the move. Davis still on the move, and a nice running catch. Chris Davis on the high backhand play, and he had to move quickly.
Well, the way the ball was slicing away with a left-handed hitter, you look at it from up here, you think he's not going to get to it, and boy, the acceleration right there, and then reaching up, pulled it in. That is an outstanding play by Chris Davis, who has been alternating, DHing in the outfield. This time, a great play by the A's left fielder. All pitchers love great plays.
Oh boy, ain't that the truth?
They'll probably greet him at the dugout when he comes in.
So top of the order, Altuve takes a curveball for a strike. Home run and a walk for Altuve. That home run, his first hit in this series. Fastball jams him, and he fouls it down the right field line.
That's a 1-1 curveball. Gosh, he had a home run on a pitch that he took for strike ball 3-2. I mean, that was almost identical location, but it was not a particularly good curveball, and he hit it hard. But Rich Hill has stayed with the pitch, trying to get it to work for him.
Pushes Altuve off the plate. A's have seen enough of Altuve here at the Coliseum, a career .328 hitter. He may just hit over 300 every year. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way he rolls. Runner goes, throw to second base is not in time, and it's a stolen base for Marwin Gonzalez.
In a case where if Rich Hill, the lefty, if he had been told to freeze or look at first base, because when he came up to throw, he could have very easily thrown to first base, but right there, once he kicked the leg, actually the runner took off. Gonzalez took off as Rich Hill lifted his front foot, almost going as soon as he did anything. First move, he took off and had it stolen easily.
That one is called a strike. Altuve knew it. Strike 3 called, and a runner stranded for the Astros. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It'll be Vogt, Crisp, and Coghlan. 2-0 Houston.
In town with Rapid Deal Days presented by Bartable. $5 Rapid Deal Day tickets are still available for Tuesday, May the 3rd. That's against the Mariners and select games throughout the season. Visit athletics.com/Bart today to get your tickets right now. And we hope the Bart ramps are filled today because the parking lots are probably filled. Definitely a Bartable day.
Yep. See there, they're parked across the interstate. Wow. Busy place. Jam shot over the mound for the first, and Vogt is retired. So Carlos Correa's made some nice plays today.
Well, he's been all over the infield, and with the shifts he has to be, and a very strong arm. So many plays he's taken in the hole to left field, at shortstop, deep in the hole, and throwing out base runners. We'll talk about seeing Felix Hernandez every series. Well, that's seeing maybe 6 times. You can see Correa 19 times.
Yeah, for the next 15 years.
A long time, yeah. I'd say he's one player the Astros will make sure does not leave Houston.
Coco takes a strike. Should also remind everybody, Ray, that the Warriors series they're playing right now, winning big. Tuesday is game 2, right, and the A's will be home, so that'll be another Bartable.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Tuesday night, both games starting sort of around the same time, but so this place will be a busy place on Tuesday. At the knees. 1-2 the count. A's left the bases loaded in the second. They had a runner at second with 1 out in the third. Have not been able to come up with a big hit against Doug Fister so far. More action for the young shortstop, and that's a nice play. That's that play that we talked about, Ray, where instead of trying to fight to get in front of it, you just relax and just backhand it.
But after Coco went that same direction with the base hit his last time, Correa moved back to the normal position, and you're right, the backhand, watch, he sets himself up. He's already set for the strong arm. He didn't even have to take the crow hop.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you backhand it, your right leg is already set. You just stand up and throw.
And Coco with good speed. Correa knew he had to hurry, so he's able to just grab it and throw it. Wow. That's a great north-south strike zone.
Coghlan went around and pitch moving away from him, so it's a quick 0-2. Coghlan struck out in the second.
Kind of in between swinging and not swinging, and he did go too far.
One walk, 2 strikeouts so far for Fister. And he chased a high fastball, and that's the strikeout, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Fister. So the A's go quietly in the 4th, trailing 2-0. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. A's and Astros wrapping up this series. The A's won the first 2 games. Get ready for the Seattle Mariners. Mariners are playing the Royals right now up in Seattle. The Royals 2, the Mariners nothing, and the Mariners going for the sweep. Seattle's playing great. They've won 8 out of 10. Royals are struggling. They've lost 5 in a row. It's Kennedy and Walker in that ball game today.
Well, this game is coming down to, for Rich Hill, trying to keep the A's close to the Astros, because it's only 2 and it seems like it should be more, but Rich Hill has done a great job. Some tough jams. He really has not had a particularly great curveball today. At least ones that he's thrown have been good, but some that maybe could have been called strikes were not.
Curveball has popped up. Alonso right near the bag, steps over the bag and makes the catch.
Rich Hill knows that his offense, which has been good, although yesterday scoring 2 runs, just enough for Jesse Hahn and the A's bullpen to hold on and shut out the Astros.
So with 1 out, Correa will hit. Correa has walked twice. He liked that one though, and he had a good swing.
He's seen so many curveballs. He sees a fastball, he's going to hack. But we'll see again if it gets to 2 strikes how his approach changes. You know, talking about the Mariners, one thing with Edgar Martinez, is one of the best 2-strike hitters in the game when he was a DH, and trying to encourage the hitters to be at least selective enough that even with 2 strikes they have good swings.
0-2 the count.
And I think the biggest thing, and he's questioning this.
That's a strike.
That is a lot of the strike. So
and that is 2. Correa cannot pull the trigger on back-to-back curveballs, and he strikes out. 3 strikeouts for Rich Hill.
Well, he's been throwing it enough, and if it starts to work that effectively, then Free's one of the big boys. That's a great one. See, that's the outside curveball coming in and sweeping, where it's going to freeze right-handed hitters, as it just did Correa. And that's one of the great things about Hill's curveball that he's been able to do with all the righties. There are 3 lefties in Houston's lineup today.
Rasmus swings at a ball, 0-1. Rasmus hit a fly ball to left field in the first, and then had a sacrifice fly in the third. Drops down from the side, and that's a nasty pitch.
That's a great one. He doesn't throw it often, but when he does, it's outstanding.
There's your strikeout leaders. David Price will pitch tonight. The night game at home against the Yankees. Hill tries it again, this time with a fastball.
So that if everything stays right for him, he'd pitch against the A's on the Wednesday. So Sunday, Friday, Wednesday would be his normal turn.
One hop ground ball to Lowry. Side retired. So Rich Hill, 3 up, 3 down inning. He's retired 5 in a row. What's going on in the diamond level? That's what's going on in the diamond level. That's what I'm talking about. from the Coliseum with the Astros leading the A's 2-0. Pfister with 3 strikeouts. He's walked 1. And that was pitch number 62. So he's been good. He's retired 5 in a row. Alonso walked in the 2nd inning. And he rips one. Springer's right there. Springer had him shaded over toward right center.
If you want to sit in the best suite at the Coliseum, check out the A's President's Suite, located right above the first base bag. The suite includes an extensive high-end food package. We just saw it down below. Beer and wine, VIP parking, and more. Availability is limited for this popular experience. So book your President's Suite today by calling 510-638-GO-A's, or you can visit athletics.com/president. El Presidente used to be the bullpen coach for the Astros.
Right. El Perfecto.
El Perfecto, El Presidente.
Dennis Martinez. Oh, 0-1 to Marcus Semien. On the ground, Carlos Correa. 2 outs.
Fisher's making it look easy.
Yes, he is. He is one of those guys when he kind of gets rolling along. It's the sinker working, and he's got it working.
Well, you talked about the Mariners trying to sweep the Royals. Well, sweeps are always tough. 3-game sweeps are tough, 4 even tougher, but A's are at least keeping it close. They were down 2 runs in the 8th inning on Friday night, came back to win with a walk-off. Do not want it to get out of hand. That's the key in this game.
First pitch to Burns in first strike. Speaking of sweeps, the Rangers are trying to sweep the Angels in Arlington. Angels have a 5-4 lead in the 7th inning. Richards and Hamels were the starters in that game. Rangers winners of 4 in a row. So they had a good month of April. Texas 14-10.
The streak on the DL?
He did.
Because he was injured. Yeah.
Angels finished 11-13. Burns taps and foul. Angels will continue a road trip. They will go to Milwaukee for a 3-game series Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The Rangers will head out and they will go to Toronto for a 4-game series. Remember the great series they had last year in the postseason, the Rangers and the Blue Jays? Well, they'll square off for 4. Burns rolls at foul. So after 1 month of play, the American League West standings are there. A's at 13-12. So bunched up, except for the disappointing Astros, 7-17. Last year, the Astros had just 1 losing month, and that was September. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. 8 in a row retired by Doug Pfister. 6th inning coming up. Still 2-0 Astros. Tune in today at 4:30 on CSN California for Sharks pregame central. The pre and post game coverage of every Sharks playoff game. It's on CSN. Sharks lead the series 1-0 over the Nashville Predators. So don't miss a moment on the home of the authentic Sharks fans, CSN California. So Sharks playoff hockey later this afternoon. The Warriors winning big right next door. A's trailing here 2-0. Gaddis, White, and Tucker here in the 6th inning. Rich Hill. As I just realized, Ray, he's only allowed 2 hits.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Home run and a single. He has walked 4. He's going to get Gaddis here. Reddick can navigate the sunshine, and he does. So 6 in a row retired by Rich Hill, and now he'll face Tyler White.
Now batting, number 13, Tyler White.
These two teams will hook up in Houston first week of June, June 3, 4, and 5. So that's the next time we'll see the Astros in our first trip to Houston.
First of 3 to Houston, first of 3 to Arlington, Texas, and 6 separate trips to the great.
Yeah, the A's are not
State.
allowed to play the Astros and the Rangers on the same road trip. And neither are the Mariners, quite frankly. Mariners do not do it this year. They will go to Texas 6 different times, Texas being the state of Texas, and so will the A's. We fully understand, Ray, that making the schedule is a very, very difficult thing, but that should not happen.
That's called ridiculous.
Because the same thing happened last year.
Yeah.
So for 2 years in a row.
No, it should not happen. You go back to the early 70s when there was an oil embargo and the fly commercial. And ever thought about doing that? Jesse Hahn, his first start of this 2016 campaign, and it was as if he never left. Hadn't pitched since last July. Had a couple of double play ground balls in the first 2 innings. He had the great sinker. He had a curveball. He had a changeup. And I think, as the skipper Bob Mumman said, his velocity 95-96 with a heater. Everything working perfectly, keeping the ball down. And even Jeff Blum on the Astros said, "Is this Cy Young pitching?" Well, he pitched like it. Jesse Hahn, which was even better to see Ryan Madson get the double play, because that looked like it was going to be a no decision for him for a while, but the A's got through it, and Jesse was outstanding. No runs, a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts, but 14 ground ball outs. That was tremendous.
It's good to see.
Well, he's just a great kid. He's a great kid. I mean, these players are good, but Jesse is right at the top of the list, and very personable young man.
1-1 the count to Tucker, who has grounded out twice. And you know what? We needed some good news yesterday, because the news on Chris Bassett's not great.
That's too bad. That is
He's got a partial tear of the UCL, and that's the ligament that you need Tommy John surgery for. And so he's going to get a second opinion on whether he should have the Tommy John surgery or not.
But he's flipping the ball nicely with the right hand. But he's also talking to someone who's already had that. That's Jesse Hahn, and that was the fear that Jesse had going in the offseason. Remember, what, July the 1st was his last start last year, shut down the second half. And great news he got in the offseason was that it was just a strain. It was not another injury to the rotator cuff, because we know how difficult one is. 2, very, very difficult to come back.
2-2. Curve is inside. So there is the General Hospital for the A's. Of course, Henderson Alvarez is getting close. Felix Doubront, actually his injury very similar to Bassett's, and Doubront had the surgery, Tommy John.
Why is there a different font used for Henderson Alvarez? Is that because the name too long, too many letters?
Too much. Simeon grabs it, spins around, fires to first, got him. Tucker slams his helmet. He had a hit taken away from him by Marcus Simeon. So Rich Hill settling down. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Brought to you by McDonald's. 25 years ago on this date, it was 1991. Rickey Henderson passes Lou Brock to become baseball's all-time stolen base leader. It was career stolen base number 939. He would go on to steal 1,406 bases. That is a new major league mark. It was steal a third right here at the Coliseum against the Yankees. And to think that Rickey was going to steal that base on the road, that was not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. He was going to do it right here in front of his friends and family. See? It's smart fans.
Well, it cannot have that record-breaking steal shown without thinking of our good friend, the late Lon Simmons. And now Lon was on the mic, and he said, Bill, you're in the Hall of Fame in basketball and football. Here's your chance for baseball. Turn the mic over. So all you hear is the great call of Bill King, but it was Lon's inning, and that's just Lon Simmons, the way he was throughout his life.
And that's sort of what you want as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Is you want to do big moments.
Well,
I mean, that's
exactly. And he was so unselfish. He just said, I mean, he knew it. It was his inning, and Bill recognized it, but he just took his headset off, said, it's all yours, partner.
25-year major league career for Rickey Henderson. Bounced around a little bit at the end of his career. Was an all-star 10 times, the MVP in 1990.
And I get the thrill every time we see him. Of course, he does a great job, and Billy Burns talked about him just yesterday and how much Rickey has helped him. But I see Rickey, and I say, Rickey, you know, you're in the Hall of Fame and number retired. Doesn't mean you have to quit. He says, you mean I come back? Sure. He thinks he can still play, and he probably could. He can still walk and hit home runs. He may not be able to run as fast. After all, he's over 50.
Two pitch. Chased a high one. So that's 5 strikeouts for Pfister. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Rodriguez and Hendricks warming up in the A's bullpen.
Now batting right fielder, number 22, Josh
9 in a row retired by Doug Pfister.
He asked Ted Williams one time, he said, do you think you could hit 400 today? And he said, probably only 340, 350. He said, why is that? Because I'm 70. He said, there's no way I could do it at my age now.
How about Reddick?
Yeah.
We've seen that a lot. Well, one more note on Rickey Henderson, and it's our cold hard fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. It's the list. Most stolen bases in Major League Baseball history. Rickey Henderson way out in front. Billy Hamilton, not Billy Hamilton that plays with the Cincinnati Reds. He's a base stealer, but he has not sold that name.
Right.
Ty Cobb, Tim Raines, and Vince Coleman. Tim Raines was an A for a short period of time.
So there's 6 all retired. So Rickey's safe, and you know the running game really has not been, of course, with the exception of Billy Hamilton, Cincinnati, and you have a few, but to steal 100 bases anymore, not so much. Tim Raines close also going to Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Fell short this past January.
So Davis hits. Single and a strikeout so far today. On the outside corner, Pfister has kept the ball away from power hitters of the A's.
Well, the way the ball is carrying, you don't have to try to pull a ball. In case of Chris Davis' power, he could go any part of this park easily.
Kept it outside again. 1-2 the count. 80 pitches for Pfister. Stephen Vogt will hit next. Reached for, poked foul. Pfister last year, his second year with the Nationals. He won just 5 games. He started 15 games, but then he went on the disabled list in May, and he was on it for a while. Toward the end of the year, the Nationals put him in the bullpen. So he spent the last 2 months of the season in the bullpen, and then became a free agent. And I think he may have been thinking, I'm going to get more than a 1-year deal, but he was still out there. as the offseason inched closer towards spring training, and then he signed a one-year deal with the Astros. Driven to center, Rasmus coming in, and he's got it.
Wow, too hard, and I thought he's got a little elevation. That'd go out of any place, but hit it too hard and too much on a line drive. It was a hanger. He was right on it, just at the top spin, kept it down on the line drive. Rasmus had it played perfectly. That didn't take long to get to him either.
So now Stephen Vogt will hit. Stephen Vogt has popped to second, grounded to short. First pitch strike. Pfister had a real good year in 2014. He was 16-6 with a 2.41 ERA for the Nationals. Pitched well in the postseason. Springer coming in, and he reaches up and makes the catch. So Reddick is stranded after his hit, and the seventh inning is coming up. 2-0 Astros.
A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Well, Rich Hill is finished for the afternoon, but what a start he had. Did not give up much, except he did walk a few batters, but he had a curveball working. Probably should have been called a few more times. It was there the last two, but great finish for Rich Hill. He would retire the last 8 that he faced after actually walking Gonzalez. But Rich Hill, 6 solid innings again this afternoon. Pitch count got to him, and as a result, he's turned over to Liam Hendricks for this inning. 106 pitches, so Rich departs.
And it's Liam Hendricks. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So Hendricks, the right-hander, into the game for the A's. First appearance in this series for the A's right-hander. 9th appearance. Lots of hits. It's about 23 hits. He has not walked anybody. He's facing Marwin Gonzalez, Jason Castro, and Jose Altuve.
So I guess one of the walks to determine whether it's a hit batter or not, which is that
what it is?
Well,
yeah, it was Gonzalez.
So I think they don't know for sure. They're still trying to determine if it was, because otherwise it's 5 walks. But
yeah, I put down hit batter.
Yeah,
pitch was way inside.
I thought his foot, and but the umpire didn't point since it was ball 4 anyway.
2-1 to Gonzalez. Gonzalez also grounded out to short. There's a shot foul. Nice play down there guarding the Astros relievers. It's a high five.
They can do it all, can't they? Elijah? Getting high fives on the visiting side? Yeah. He does work. See him all the time in the clubhouse.
So Scott right now, Scott down the left field line, right? See, he's thinking, oh, man, I just need an opportunity.
Yeah, I got
See, he's not happy right now that the attention is going to Elijah down the right field.
Yeah, they're playing it back and forth.
And Elijah's thinking, 1-0, I'm up. 1-0.
There it is, just as you speak. Don't leave, Scotty. he's gonna go tackle Coughlin, so
there was a moment where I was cheering for Scott to catch it. I was like, well, that wouldn't be an out then. It would just be something to talk about.
Thing is, Scotty's probably promised a few people a baseball down the left field line. He hasn't gotten one yet.
That's true. So 2-2 the count to Gonzalez. Astros leading 2-0. Gonzalez was able to hold up his swing. Royals leading the Mariners. It's now 3-0 in the 6th inning. There's the check swing. Angels 6, Rangers 4 in the 8th. Gonzalez starts out with his hands very low. When he's getting ready to swing, he does bring the hands up a little bit, but you do not see a guy have his hands that low very often. You got to raise him at some point.
Yeah, and he does. It's just a timing mechanism for him. Last year, he smoked the ball left center here in a game in which he came in to pinch hit. A's would tie it late, but lost it in extra innings. Another 1-run loss for the A's last year, but he had 35 of them, so you could figure if it's 1 run, they were probably going to lose it last year, not so much this year.
Good breaking ball from Hendricks on 3-2, and he gets the strikeout.
A hard breaking ball down and in, and it's a good pitch because right there looks fastball, and then it disappears. That's a great pitch. Liam Hendricks has a good one. He throws hard mid-90s, but that's a good breaking ball.
Castro.
So 1 out for Castro. The White Sox beat the Orioles today 7-1. That was in Baltimore. The White Sox are now 18-8 and continue to have dominant pitching. Chris Sale got the win. He is 6-0, and Brett Lawrie hit a home run. So they're getting excited on the south side.
2-1. Wow. So his ERA stays under 2.
Yeah. Castro takes high. Tigers beat the Twins 6-5. Castellanos homered for Detroit, so where he's leading the American League in hitting. He had a good series against the A's, Nick Castellanos, the third baseman.
Especially his right field shots, surprisingly.
Yeah. 3-0. Blue Jays beat the Rays 5-1. Marcus Stroman is 4-0. Fine young right-hander. Blue Jays have to be thrilled to have him back healthy and in their rotation to start the season. Donaldson homered. Tulowitzki homered. And Castro has a walk.
Well, we talked about Ricky Henderson on this day. Actually, also a Nolan Ryan no-hitter on this date in 1991. But Alan Ashby caught the fifth no-hitter of Nolan Ryan when he was catching for the Houston Astros, now doing the TV play-by-play for the Astros, along with Jeff Blum, who was a member of the White Sox, hit a dramatic home run against the Astros. Isn't that amazing? It's a home run against the Astros in 2005 with the White Sox, and now he works for the Astros.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Astros fans are okay with him. And we're joking. Jeff Blum is one of the nicer guys.
Yes, he is.
Nice play at second. Simeon on the pivot, side retired. Nicely done by the A's middle infielders, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch. 2-0 Houston.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Hey, Know It All with Sportsnet Central coming up this evening at 6 and also at 10:30. And it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll have all the highlights and clubhouse reaction from this A's Astros game. Warriors blowing out the Blazers in game 1. That game just about over. And the Sharks and the Predators will get you set for game 2. And at late show, we'll have highlights from game 2. So Kelly Johnson, Henry Wolford will host. Here at the Coliseum, Astros with a 2-0 lead. The attendance today is 24,135. And a whole bunch of Little Leaguers enjoying a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Nice and warm.
It's given something to cheer about the last 3 innings, or maybe the last couple of innings.
That Doug Fister guy has kept the A's and their fans quiet. Fister is rolling along. First pitch is a strike. He's retired 11 out of the last 12, and overall he's allowed just 4 hits, and he's really only been in trouble 1 time. That was the 2nd inning. He's just really not giving the A's a lot of pitches to hit.
And again, he's proof that he doesn't break the radar gun, may not even have one on him, but he can throw strikes, quality strikes with all of his pitches, and he has proven that at least in the first 6 innings. Just giving up 3 hits, making 4 hits.
Coker's got one of them, a single in the 2nd inning. He also grounded out in the 4th. Coghlan to follow, and then Alonso, so 3 left-handed hitter. Fastball 87, cutter 85.
Curveball slower by 8 miles than his changeup.
Fister grew up in Marquette, California, so he's probably got lots of friends and family here. Every time he has pitched here, he has had.
Yep.
A lot of friends and family here, so I'm sure that is the case today. Making the drive up from Marquette. Coco with a shot toward right. Springer coming in, and he caught it. Well, you want to talk about an outfielder getting a good jump. This would be it.
Make a play some right field. You'll see him in the top of your screen. Comes charging in, did not break back, and felt that he had to go into the headlong dive, although it probably a bit about chest high, but he got to it, held on as he hit the ground hard. The home run he robbed in Arlington, Texas last year. A game saver. I mean, it was going to be a walk-off. Instead, it was a great catch, and Astros, I think, ended up winning the game.
And Coughlin lines one toward left center. He has his first hit. So that has to feel good for Coughlin after striking out his first 2 at bats. And now Alonso will hit.
And you know, Doug Fister realizes, as do the A's, that every time the A's get a runner on base, this fastball away, he goes perfect with the opposite field. You know, you only swing away from tying the game, you know, with the runner on base. And the ball carrying as well as it is today, the lefty Tony Sipp starting to stretch a little bit. Looks like he's going to start throwing. He pitched on Friday night. Got the loss.
Alonso shoots one the other way, and that's going to get down. Tucker cuts it off. He gets it back into the cutoff man. Coughlin to third, and the A's are in business here in the bottom of the 7th.
That ball happened to be slicing back to Tucker in left field. Otherwise, it's going to go to the wall. But Alonso, like Coughlin, going the opposite field, and maybe third time through the batting order, the hitter's realizing he's staying away. Go with the pitch, especially with the shifts to the right side. Watch this ball check up and then go right back. As backing up was Rasmus, but it looked like it had a chance to go to the wall.
Brent Strum, the pitching coach, is going to trot out. 91 pitches so far.
Specialization of the bullpens, and how many times you talk about going through the batting order. 2 times not a problem. 3rd time can be a problem. The ball just checks back right into the glove of Tucker, and any ball that goes straight, it would have gone to the wall. The A's would have had a double from Alonso and an RBI.
So the A's need a big hit for Marcus Semien. He has grounded out twice, both times to short, and there's a strike. Semien 2 for 7 in the series. He's got a home run. Up the middle, center field, a base hit. The A's are on the board. Coughlin trots in, and now it's 2-1. Now Fister got the ground ball. It was not hit real hard, but placed nicely right up the middle.
Well, that's a great approach by the Athletics, the bottom 3rd of the batting order. Oppo up the middle, and that's great hitting. Pitch down. Marcus stayed back, looking for a base hit, looking for a ground ball to get through the infield, and not a double play. But there's a case where the sinker actually hurt Fister because it stayed down, and Marcus Semien stayed back and shot it back up the middle.
So now the top of the order, Burns steps in for his 4th at bat. Burns has grounded out, flied out, and struck out. First pitch is a strike, outside corner.
Semien just hammered it into the ground hard, and Coughlin his first hit of the afternoon, Oppo, and that's a run scored by him thanks to Marcus Semien, who has now driven in 11.
Slapped on the ground. What a play by Carrera. Out at second. Altuve to first. Not in time. And that play right there by Tyler White at first saved a run.
Yes, you're right.
Altuve got dumped at second base. And he's slow to get up as a hard sliding Marcus Semien came in. But what a play by the shortstop.
Well, Semien went straight into the bag, and of course that's always a concern. Now A.J. Hinch is going to look at it. He's calling time to see, but stayed on the bag.
There's nothing wrong with that slide.
No.
In fact, he slid right into the bag, and the bag kind of slowed him down.
And I think this may be more of a pitching change, but you're right. and White on the other end. Wow. That ball gets past him. And really, that's a case of maybe not even trying to turn a double play because of the way Correa caught the ball.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So Tony Sipp coming in. The A's trying to tie it.
One of your favorite 70s classics on Grease movie Fireworks tonight, presented by Xfinity, Friday, May the 20th, which is game 2 of the A's 4-game series against the New York Yankees, the birthday of born Glenn Kuiper. After the game, fans can watch the fireworks show from the outfield grass. As always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. Grease. And Kuiper.
Yeah, 30th birthday.
Boy, you look so much younger.
I don't feel 30.
Well, Jed, do what you did against your former team last year. Now do it against your former team this year. Jed Lowry turning around to bat right-handed against the left-handed pitching of Tony Sipp.
First pitch is blocked nicely by Castro. So Alonso is the tying run at third. Burns is the runner at first.
You know what you'd like to see on this play right here is Billy Burns take off right there. Ball in the dirt, down his knees, go. Castro is concerned about the runner at third, blocked it, but Billy Burns did not go. Very rarely we see a catcher throw to second on a block like that with the runner at third. A great block nonetheless.
That one rolled foul out in front.
Hey, Scotty. Hey, now you feel better now. Yeah, I'm digging it. Cool.
th appearance for Tony Sipp. Pitched well for the Astros last year. He was a free agent at the end of the year, and the Astros re-signed him. A 3-year, $18 million deal. So that's a pretty good deal for Tony Sipp.
That's Joe Smith money with the Angels.
He's valuable. Foul territory. White will hustle, but he won't get it. And Tony Sipp needs to be good because he's the only left-hander they have in their bullpen.
And just going to say his value is the fact that he is the only left in the bullpen. But I mentioned yesterday about Friday about the reverse splits, which means he can get righties out as well. And remember, the Angels at one time had nothing but right-handers in the bullpen. They didn't need lefties. They tried to get one, didn't work out. But Sipp can get righties out, and that's why in this case they felt that it'd be better for Jed Lowry to bat right-handed, because they get really fewer at-bats right-handed. So hope he can come through with a huge hit to tie it.
Lowry 1 for 3, doubled in the third. 1-2 pitch is hit in the air towards Springer, shading his eyes, and Springer makes the catch. Side retired. So Marcus Semien with an RBI single, and the A's are on the board. A run on 3 hits. So as we go to the 8th inning, it's now a 2-1 game. Astros over the A's. live on CSNCalifornia.com. Each week is our A's Insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, and special guests. The A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz. It's on CSNCalifornia.com, and you can also pick it up on iTunes. So now a 2-1 game, top of the 8th inning. On Little League Day at the ballpark. And the new pitcher for the A's is Fernando Rodriguez. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 1-0 with a good 1.20 ERA for Rodriguez. 14 strikeouts in 15 innings.
And a former Astro. It's got him from Houston.
Jumps ahead of Springer 0-2. Springer is 0 for 3. And a good swing there. Springer 1 for 9 in this series. Correa to follow, and then Rasmus. Just a little outside. So congratulations to the Warriors. They take game 1 of their series. They just finished up a 118-106 win over the Blazers. Game 2 will be Tuesday at Oracle. Swing and a miss. Springer strikes out.
Well, September, Mr. Correa, the Rookie of the Year in the American League, did this in Houston, and it sounded. I'm sorry, it was here, and it was a huge one. And Fernando, the old fist to the head, and saddled out, and it did not take long to get out. Of course, in Houston, that wouldn't even reach Tal's Hill, which is still there. You know, they said in the postseason, since they played in the postseason, they didn't have time to tear it down.
I know,
so it's still there. Yeah. So we'll sit 3 different times.
Correa bends back out of the way. Three for 4 with 2 home runs against Fernando Rodriguez.
A lot of things went right for the Astros last year, including that home run that Correa hit against Fernando. And they would like to see the month of May be different and kinder to them.
Little shot for Stephen Vogt.
And a little cut fastball and off of his glove into the chest protector, and that's why you put your glove up where the ball is appeared to be coming, and then it's all it takes is a little some foul tip and it changes direction. Last year it changed direction in the wrong place.
Hard breaking ball, 2-1. Correa has walked twice and he has struck out. And now he takes that one inside. Really got a good idea at the plate, doesn't he, for such a young player?
Yes, he does.
Granted, he's a superstar in waiting, but he just does not go out of the strike zone very much. Good swing there, missed it. 3-2, and a good fastball by Rodriguez. Had a little cut to it.
And it was slightly elevated too, which the ball that we showed Correa hitting was down a little bit more. This was up and running away from him with the cut action.
Lowry grabs it. Jam shot, 2 outs.
Now Fernando talks about using both sides of the plate. First pitch to Correa, of course, probably remembering the home run, but at least he pitched him inside, moved him off the plate, then on 3-2 went back the same fastball in. Jammed him with an inside out swing and got him.
Colby Rasmus steps in for his 4th at bat today. Fly out, sacrifice fly, and a ground out. He picked up his 20th RBI in the 3rd inning. Astros 2 runs. An Altuve home run in the 1st, and the sacrifice fly by Rasmus in the 3rd. Rasmus waited on it, drives it toward the corner, foul.
So you say this curveball is thrown too slowly? Hey, right into the wheelhouse. Vogt wanted it back door, stayed middle of the plate in, and then planted the front foot. Rasmus, I think he thought he had at least extra bases. But fortunate for the A's, it kept hooking into the foul territory area.
Vogt wants it up a little bit, and it is 1-2 the count.
Foul all the way.
Looks like Rasmus has a little bit of a different stance this year, holding the bat real flat and off his shoulder. I don't recall him having the bat sitting like that on his shoulder last year. He does change his stance. He lays it right on his shoulder.
Gets it up in a hitting zone as the ball's coming.
This one down the left field line. Rasmus with 7 home runs and 20 RBIs. And that one's hit high in the air. Reddick shading his eyes. Looks to be in the ballpark, and it is.
Oh, that sounded.
Didn't miss it by a whole lot. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 2-1 Astros.
Wow. This game summary is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It has been the Astros 7 hits, the A's with 7, but only the Astros 2 hits, but they capitalized with a home run by Altuve. Doug Fister, though, the story for the Astros, 6 2/3 innings, giving up just 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 95 pitches, and Jason Castro was singled. Altuve had a walk on a 3-2, looked like strike 3 from the A's standpoint. Good opposite field hitting. Unfortunately, just 1 run on the board, trailing 2-1 in the 8th.
Tony Sipp stays in the game.
Probably for Reddick with Giles, it looks like warming up. for the right-handed Davis, and then you have Vogt and Chris. So lefties, we'll see what happens. Maybe with the fact that he pitches well against righties, maybe Sip does stay in. Depending what happens with Reddick.
Reddick 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th inning. Hits this one in the air toward left. Tucker slides over toward the line, and he's got it.
He's going to his right-hander. Maybe.
Hinch jogging out. He's looking down to the bullpen, still looking, and now he does make the call. So Will Harris is the right-hander coming in when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. And it'll be the Mariners in town. Remember what happened when the A's went up to Seattle right at the beginning of the year? They swept the Mariners. We'll see what happens in this 3-game series. Carnes and Graven on Monday. Iwakuma and Gray on Tuesday. And then Hernandez and Manaya on Wednesday. You'll see Monday and Tuesday's games right here on CSN California. Tomorrow night it starts at 6:30 with A's pregame live. And as we said, the Mariners playing well right now. Pitching's been very good. They're hitting a lot of home runs. And the first pitch to Chris Davis from Will Harris. Nice ball. Well, Harris had a good year last year and doing it again this year.
Yeah, it's you know, Giles had been the setup guy, but after failing Friday night, I just assumed it was Giles. Instead, it's Will Harris, and AJ Hinch trying to go to Harris and maybe even Gregerson to close it out. The A's would like to change that against this righty.
Harris last year pitched in 68 games for the Astros and had a 1.90 ERA. 31 years old, his 4th year in the big leagues. Davis taps one, fair. Long throw across the diamond, and Gonzalez gets Davis 2 outs. So Tony Sip 2/3 of an inning, but he got a big out to end the 7th, and then he gets a power hitter in Reddick to start the 8th, so he did his job.
And Chris Davis rolling over on the pitch, and Gonzalez took his time, took the bad hop. Well, speaking of good hops, that ball that checked back to Tucker in left field right now turns out to be big. Instead of an RBI and a double, of course, Semien would drive in the only run, but Alonso ended up getting just the base hit and not extra bases.
First pitch at the knees is a strike to Stephen Vogt. Vogt, a pop out, a ground out, and a fly ball to right. It's Axford throwing in the A's bullpen. Shift is on for Vogt. drives one to right, and that's a base hit. So Stephen Vogt gets his first hit today.
And there will be a pinch runner. Breaking ball, and Stephen Vogt stayed back on it and hit it nicely. Tyler Ladendorf.
Ladendorf, yeah.
Ladendorf.
How about that? So we've seen Tyler Ladendorf. Well, he's been with the A's for a long time, 5 years. Big leagues last year. And we've all called him Tyler Ladendorf. And he never said anything. And we found out that it's pronounced Ladendorf.
I apologized to him.
I felt
I'm sorry. He said,
we didn't know.
Said I hardly hear it. He said, I'm surprised my mother didn't say anything.
We wish she would have right away. Generally, it's the family members that
but you
will
think about
correct us, and that's okay. We're okay with that.
But it's L-A-D-E-N, right?
Yeah, L-A-D.
Okay, so in your English, when L-A-D with an E on the end, it could be long, and he's pronounced it as short. A. Long A, short A.
Right, it's bad. Ladendorf. So
Ladendorf, sorry.
We have moved on past that.
Yeah.
We had a big conference with the radio announcers. We said, let's tighten this up a little bit. Tyler Ladendorf. He's pinch running at first with very good speed. Strike, 1-1.
I was actually waiting to see if Dick Callahan, who was always on top of the game, got the memo. He did.
He was right.
He did. He was right.
He was right. But the Media Relations Department helped us out on this. So 1-1 to Coco Chris. There's ball loose out in left field. So a good tight ball game this afternoon.
Jake Castro made a great backhanded stab of a pitch in the dirt, keeping Ladendorf at first base.
A nice play. Tyler White on the backhand, steps on the bag, side retired. So a runner left in. It's time for the ninth inning, folks. 2-1 Astros lead. And the Astros leading 2-1. Rodriguez stays out there to face Gaddis, White, and Tucker. Gaddis is 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch a little bit outside. So the A's get ready for the Mariners. These Astros, well, they're going to head home. They got a nice long homestand coming up to play the Twins, the Mariners, and the Indians. And Josh Fegley, the new catcher. And the Astros will head home and they'll try to get on a little win streak. Gaddis pops it foul. So Gregerson starts to throw out in the Astros bullpen. He is their closer. There he is. So Rodriguez ahead of Gaddis. Sharp breaking ball. Fegley tried to block it. Angels trying to wrap up that win in Arlington. It's now 9-4, the Angels over the Rangers in the ninth inning. Angels trying to avoid being swept.
A few Western Division teams trying to avoid being swept. This one in particular, of course, the Royals hanging on up in Seattle. A 3-1 lead.
Mariners going for the sweep. Gaddis stays alive, fouls off. It was a tough pitch.
Well, you worry about a topper like that with 2 strikes on the hitter and third baseman playing deep. And I want to think back to last year when Evan Gaddis, Coghlan's playing with 2 strikes, which is a normal position. He's not a threat to bunt regardless, but he had 11 triples last year, so he can run once it gets motoring.
That one not close, so a full count.
Chris Davis having a good time with the Seagulls.
Yeah, they're circling Chris Davis. Hit foul, heads up.
Scotty. Talk about Olay.
You know, he had his chance right there to take the lead.
He had a chance to take one of the lips too.
Yeah, there's
wow.
There was a chance for numerous things to happen.
Get in front of the ball, Scotty. Oh. Wow. What are you doing? He better be glad he took it to the side.
We're all glad he laid that one a little bit. And Gaddis lays off, and it's a leadoff walk.
Here's this afternoon's Honda play of the game, and Doug Fister, the veteran from down around Fresno and Merced, he was outstanding, and he changed speeds, changed eyesights, and just kept the A's hitters off balance. Was not overpowering with any of his pitches. We had his fastball at about 87, 88, but the way he spotted all of his pitches, he deserves the Honda play of the game. The A's are hopeful of giving an alternate in the bottom of the ninth when they win it. They say sunflower seeds are the culprit for the Seagulls. And it's not the seeds themselves, it's the actual shell. But
well, then there's a bunch of shells laying right under the camera while out in center field. Somebody's doing
popcorn?
that. Who's eating popcorn out there? What cameraman is eating popcorn?
Well, maybe they threw it. That's right. Unless it came out of a suite. Those Seagulls are usually perched up high until the game is over. As soon as the last out, they swoop down and take all the debris from the stands. But
there is the culprit. Coming from a luxury suite.
Yeah.
We have clean camera operators, so they would never spill.
They wouldn't eat either. How can they use 2 hands and
believe it? That one is driven toward the popcorn, and Burns spins around and makes a nice catch.
What a great play.
It was a hard hit ball by Tyler White.
Not distracted at all by the Seagulls. White hit it hard, crushed it straightaway center, and Billy Burns took a direct route straight back. And what a great play. He was playing straight up for White. The Seagulls departed, and Billy Burns back to the warning track and made a great play. Look at him flying away. Exmo brought to you by Seagulls in Flight.
Gotta go. So pitching change with Tucker, the left-handed hitter, coming up. Zabzinski coming in.
Live streaming sports service delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, #1 app for live baseball blackout, and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
So the A's trying to keep this a one-run deficit, and they want the lefty-on-lefty matchup. So Zabzinski comes in to face Preston Tucker. Tucker is 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. First pitch is a strike down around the knee. Marwin Gonzalez, a switch hitter, is in the on-deck circles. Zabzinski will face him as well. Hit high and foul, headed for the seats. Good start to the season for Zabzinski. ERA of 0.90. He's given up 1 earned run in 10 innings. Trying to get Tucker here. He's ahead in the count 0-2. Slider blocked nicely by Fegley. Well, Hill went 6. Hendricks an inning. Fernando Rodriguez an inning and a third. Just a little bit low.
I'm Tucker. I don't take too many low pitches. After the first pitch that was at least seemed to be a little bit low was called a strike. Zabzinski got a hit with 0-2 count, now 2-2. He's such a good specialist pitcher. He can get righties out as well, but lefties he has a very good career record against them. See what Tucker does with a breaking pitch.
And he chases down and away, and that is the second out here, top of the ninth.
A big sweeping breaking ball started and just kept sweeping it, and Tucker kept swinging and couldn't make contact. And you try to pull the pitch that far outside, you're in trouble. The swing almost looked like the great Mickey Mantle, although Mantle always made contact.
Go down to a knee a little bit.
Yeah.
Angels beat the Rangers 9-6. That just went final. So that stops the Rangers' 4-game winning streak. Texas now 14-11. Richards and Hamels were the starters in that game. Neither one part of the decision. Two 2-0 now to Marwin Gonzalez in the 9th inning. In the bottom of the 9th, the A's will have Coghlan, Alonso, Simeon, the bottom 3 in the order, and after that it would be Burns. So a couple of left-handed hitters to start off the 9th against Gregerson. Gregerson always in his career been a bit tougher on right-handed hitters.
Well, all the movement that he has on his pitches, of course the slider's a good pitch, but everything moves. And he's so ready, he decided to sit down.
He is ready. Strike call to make it 3-1. Defense straight away for Gonzalez. Deep breaths. And there's the walk. So 7 walks today issued by A's pitchers. So that has been an issue. None of them have scored.
Well, Gregerson is focusing on another run when he comes in. Right now, a 1-run lead. Safensky and the A's trying to get Castro out and keep it at just a 1-run deficit.
Now batting, number 15, Jason Castro.
So it's Castro, lefty on lefty matchup. Castro has singled and scored. That was in the 3rd. Hit a fly ball to left in the 4th, and he walked in the 7th. A little bit inside, not by much. Could have been a strike.
Had a Castro run in the 3rd inning. I mean, that's it. It's the 2 hits on the board for the Astros, and gives us a broken bat base hit to left field, and then 2 walks later in the inning, actually 3. The sac fly in between.
Off the leg of Castro. Castro, as we've said many times, very good catcher, but he struggled offensively the last couple years, and he will be a free agent at the end of this year.
And he was an all-star a couple of years ago, so he had the offensive numbers.
If he could get his offense going the way he catches, he would be an attractive free agent for teams that are looking for a good catcher.
Like the Astros?
Yeah, that's true. But a bad year last year and really off to a slow start this year. 1-2. Gaddis and Gonzalez are your runners.
Now, Fingley did a great job yesterday keeping the double play in order with a block, and does it again this afternoon, coming in for defense in this 9th inning. I like the fact that Stephen Vogt got the base hit, that even though 2 outs, a pitch ran for him, just in case. I guess you always think about Jeremy Giambi, New York Yankees, the ball down in the corner and was thrown out at the plate. That was with 2 outs. Strike
3 called on the inside corner. So bottom of the ninth coming up, folks. Gregerson coming in. Coghlan to lead it off. A's need 1 to tie, 2 to go home. So Jose Altuve hit a home run way back in the first inning. Astros leading 2-1. It is the bottom of the ninth. The A's walked off on Friday night. They'll try to do it again today. And, well, if they're going to win this game, they are going to walk off.
Yeah. So
Gregerson comes in, the Astros closer. He's got 4 saves this year. He's 4 for 4.
Well, at least the A's can get a runner on base early in this inning. They can do something with him.
One tapped off the foot of Coghlan. Career for Gregerson from a splits standpoint. Left-handed hitters hit 235 against him. Right-handed hitters 195. He's got that good slide. 38 consecutive home series of 3 or more games without a sweep. He's trying to do it today, but they'll have to come back in the ninth. Coghlan is now behind in the count 0-2.
Back-to-back sliders. Really kind of an unconventional closer because Gregerson has a lot of movement on his fastball, plus loves to throw the slider. And it goes different directions, as we saw him a couple of years ago. He's with the Athletics. Slider can go down. Slider can slide like a normal slider, but movement.
0-2 pitch, drops low. Gregerson's 1 year with the A's was 2014, and then he became a free agent and he signed a 3-year contract with the Astros. So he has this year and next year on that contract. Slider is rolled foul. Last year, Gregerson had 31 saves for the Astros.
He did struggle against the Athletics, his former team, and closers get paid for a reason, because in a game like this with 1 run, especially away from their home park, the A's with the last bat.
That one hit high and foul, headed toward the A's bullpen.
And Danny Valencia joined the club last year in time to do this against Gregerson and the Astros. Line drive over the head of third baseman down the left field line, scored Fenley, and Danny Valencia, the hero in that game. He is on the disabled list, so that will not be the case today. But he did get that as he was talking to us.
And that, well, he was talking to us. Whoa, that was close. Gregerson thought maybe it was a strike.
It's almost like a two-seamer comeback pitch that he was hoping, although it broke like a cutter but came back like a fastball, and bringing the ball back in the striking zone was Castro.
On the ground, backhanded nicely by Gonzalez, and he throws across the diamond for out number 1.
That was a very good play.
Yep.
As that ball gets by him, it's probably 2 as the ball was slicing, but went to the backhand, and players do that. A lot of confidence, and you don't have your body to block a ball. There's not much he could do except backhanded.
So now Alonso will step in. He has walked, lined out, and singled. Clearly starting to swing the bat better. First pitch from Gregerson is low. Gregerson has not allowed a home run this year. Gregerson grabs it, and that ball looked like it was headed to center field.
I think it would have been.
It was.
It was hit hard enough that if it gotten past Gregerson, the way Altuve was playing Alonso to pull, and Correa was on the normal side of second base, that ball sliding away, and he reached out, found it. That's it. Nice play by Luke Gregerson.
Simeon, and the first pitch, he went around. One to Simeon, and now it's 0-2, and that was a fastball that maybe won the pitch to hit in this at bat. So now Marcus is going to have to battle. Whoa. 0-2 pitch, way outside.
The teaser.
Slider, and a good take by Marcus Simeon. You know you're going to get it,
yeah.
but it's still a tough pitch to hit.
Because he changes speeds on the slider, he has movement on the fastball. Slider goes different directions, and just a tough pitcher to hit.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner, and that's the ball game. So the Astros salvaged the final game of this series. Good ball game today, but the A's come up short. 2 hours and 50 minutes. The attendance was 24,135. Doug Fister gets the win, give Gregerson the save, and Rich Hill takes the loss. Final score this afternoon from the Coliseum. It's the Houston Astros 2 and the Oakland A's 1. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Guy Haberman and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.